This radio program is PG-13. Parents strongly caution some material may be inappropriate for children under the age of 13.
The following program is sponsored by Michael W. Smith. The views expressed on the following program are those of the host and not necessarily those of staff, management, or ownership.
Phoenix, Arizona, Brother Mike, back on the radio, HardcoreChristianity.com. Arizona Deliverance Center. Welcome to KXXT Christian Radio. Welcome to Filthy Fridays on Hardcore. Going to bring you a truckload of bad news today. So, in spite of that fact, go ahead and call somebody and tell them the radio program's on. It's going to be a good one. A lot of interesting information today. Today's Bible study, the birth rate boondoggle. It's staring us right in the face. This is Brother Mike. I'm the counselor at the Arizona Deliverance Center. We're downtown on 15th Avenue, just south of Osborne Road. It's a red brick building. HardcoreChristianity.com is the website. We have all of our ministry services on the website. We have 4 live services every week. Tuesday nights is Ladies' Night at 6:30. Thursday and Friday night at 7 o'clock is for everybody. Healing, preaching, teaching, and deliverance. Saturday afternoon at 4:30, the most unique worship service anywhere in the United States. For an hour, we gather together to sing in tongues. Singing in tongues is the highest form of worship known to man. Saturdays at 4:30 p.m. We have a counseling center available for you if you're a born-again Christian. You need to see a counselor. There's no charge. You have no money. You got no insurance. You got no problem. 602-636-5800, or send me an email, mike@hardcorechristianity.com. We have a healing service every month, the last Friday of every month. Man, I hope you join us for this amazingly anointed service. The birth rate boondoggle. Friends, the United States has dropped below the replacement rate. We cannot replace our population. The only way to replace it now is by importing immigrants, which is what we are doing. We're importing immigrants from the Middle East, Muslims, and from Latin America, and they have higher birth rates than Americans, way higher. Muslims have 5 to 8 kids. Latino families usually have 4 to 6 kids. Americans' families have 1, maybe 2 children. There's no question that the American population is going to be replaced sometime in the 1930s. We're going to be a minority in this country. There's no way to stop it now. We are now below the replacement rate, thanks to a series of factors that I'll go over on this program. In 2025, the birth rate in the United States reached a new low according to the CDC. Last year, we recorded only 53 births per 1,000 women. And that's the childbearing ages, age 15 to 44. Those are the best years, the most fertile years to have children. It declined 1.3% from 2024, and it's down 23% from 2007. 2007 was the pivotal year. We have declined our birth rate every year since 2007. Every year since 2007. Let me give you an example how bad this is. There were only 4 million babies born in 1961. But the U.S. population back then was only 184 million people. In 2025, there were only 3 million births, and the population in the United States was over 340 million people. Can you imagine that? A major decline in birth rate. In U.S. birth rates declined most since 2024 among younger aged women. Now check this out. Here's some good news in the CDC survey. Girls aged 10 to 14 had a reduction in birth rates. Well, that's some good news. You don't want teenagers having babies because they can't afford them. And B, it's a sin. Check this out. The total births dropping in the age 15 to 17 age also declined. So that's more good news. Teenagers, unmarried teenagers, are not having as many children now as they used to have. That's some good news. Definitely good news there. But the trend with this data is horrible. It's showing a decline across the board of females in the United States not having children. And there's several reasons for that, which I'll go over later. But this situation has reached critical mass. We cannot replace our population now. We have crossed over. We've crossed over. I did a radio show on this subject 10 years ago before we had crossed over, and I warned and predicted that this was going to happen 10 years ago. I warned about the declining birth rate in that radio program 10 years ago, and it has finally happened. But at that time, we were not below the replacement rate. There was still a chance to turn the thing around. We did not turn it around. The only way to replace the population in the United States is to import people from Latin America or the Middle East, because they have traditionally large families. Women in their 20s, that's the best year to have a child, physiologically. Fertility rates, highest of women in their 20s. From women aged 20 to 24, the birth rate declined from 55 per 1,000 to 52 births per 1,000 women. Can you imagine it? The age categories, 35 to 39, 40 to 44, 45 to 54. Can you believe it? These birth rates actually increased a little bit, meaning that women are having their children later in life. Later in life. The risk there, of course, is what? Yeah, medical concerns. They're having babies past their best years. In vitro fertilization, getting them to postpone having a child. It's riskier to have a child medically when you're older. The CDC is warning. Here's what they said in the report, quote, a woman's chances of having a baby decrease rapidly every year after age 30. Yeah, no kidding. That's just common sense. A delay in childbearing. What is causing it? Well, a lot of things cause it. The number one thing that caused it is, this will surprise you, happened in the 1960s in the sexual revolution and the creation of the birth control pill. Sex went from being something meaningful between married partners who wanted to foster a family through marriage and love to a recreational activity. Sex became a recreational activity, and the birth control pill led to all of it. The loosening of the morals in the 1960s during the sexual revolution increased sexual activity in the country and decreased the number of births. As you remember, after World War II, we had the baby boomers. People were having kids left and right. But during the Great Depression, before that, back in the 20s, the birth rates obviously plummeted. The economic issues also affect birth rates. For example, COVID-19. Birth rates went down. People were having less children during the Great Recession back in 2007 and 2008. People do not like to have children and don't normally have children when the economy is bad. And, for example, during the Great Depression, As I mentioned, people were not having kids hardly at all. For obvious reasons, they could barely take care of themselves, let alone raise a child. But it started to spike a little bit in the 1960s. After the 1960s, the birth rate kind of went up a little bit. And it peaked again in 1990. But in 2007, after the Great Recession, the United States has never recovered their birth rate. And it kept going down every year until we have finally passed the replacement rate. The sexual revolution and immorality reduced people having children. Nowadays, homosexuality is running rampant everywhere, and they have less children than heterosexuals. Transgenderism, which is technically a mental illness, is now being promoted as normal, and the birth rate obviously is extremely low among transgendered people. The whole situation is bleak. It's bleak to describe it in one word. Contraception pills, in vitro fertilization, having children when you're older, the rise of homosexuality, the rise of transgenderism. All these things now have combined, along with rampant abortion, to now have reduced the birth rate under the replacement rate. Abortion is now at its highest level in the history of our country, in spite of the fact that Planned Parenthood, a satanic organization used to butcher and murder children in the womb, is declining rapidly in the United States. The funding's being yanked from Planned Parenthood by several states in America, but the abortion rate is going up. How can that be? You guessed it, the abortion pill is spreading all over the country. Not only are people having less children, we are killing them and murdering them before they're born. Hence, a lower birth rate. Duh, Brother Mike. That's deep insight. It's extremely deep insight. The immorality and the satanic evil of abortion is killing us, if you'll excuse the pun. Folks, life's about to change dramatically over the next few years, and you're going to have to be spiritually ready to handle it. You're going to have to change. You're going to have to grow spiritually, because hard times are coming. See you next time.
The views expressed on this program are those of the host and not necessarily those of staff, management, or ownership. This program was sponsored by Michael W. Smith.